Before we get started on this evening's entertainment, I'd just like to bring your attention to the umbrella hanging on the rail. It could be quite a key feature in our upcoming decisions, conversations. You'll be wondering, of course, about the fishy story bit. So here's the fishy story that I got for you. The head of CSIS more or less convened a special meeting of Trudeau's cabinet to explain that the invocation of the Emergencies Act. Well, it wasn't right because CSIS didn't consider it a threat to national security severe enough to warrant it. He made a point of telling me. Okay, and so I don't know if it was at that meeting. It's too bad that this camera's not going to pick up the wonder of these waves. Wow, they really are beautiful. They're short waves, like they're not very far across from left to right. And they're a little bit steep, and they're perfectly ordered in a line. They're absolutely gorgeous waves. Anyway, so he did that, and I think that around the same time, or shortly after, he also had a meeting with Trudeau privately to say that he thought that Trudeau should invoke the act anyway. That's the story. That's the story. Can you believe this? And this fact has only become public knowledge in the last 2 days. So what they're saying is that through all these weeks of testimony and through the I'd say months of committee hearing on the same subject, where all the stuff, this didn't come out, but a lot of stuff came out, proving that they're totally unjustified. It's been proven a billion times over by now. Anyway, so what we're being asked to believe now is that he and Trudeau had a private discussion in which he advised Justin Trudeau to invoke the act. And we find this out 2 days ago. Okay, now, I don't want to slander anyone or anything, but that is a fishy story. That there is a real fishy story. Okay, and so the other thing that happened today in the inquiry is that Brendan Miller, I believe is his name, was trying to bring attention to the fact that one of the guy carrying the Hitler flag that the Liberals referred to so often was working for the Liberals when he did it. And why do they think that? They think that because the pictures, he didn't have his face all that covered, right? Whoever it was didn't cover their face completely. Like, this is how stupid they are. So there's a photograph of the guy, and when you compare it to the guy who they say it was, I don't know his name, they say it looks the same. And there's a guy who talked to him there and can just tell us that he knew it was him all along. Why that guy didn't come up before now is fishy too. So what we got there is two fishy stories. Or maybe it would take that long to come out. Okay, I'll tell you, if I had known, if I had talked to that guy at that meeting, I would have, I would have spoken up on it that day. I'd have spoken up on it that day. Like, why would you not speak up on it? So that's a little fishy too. These things are fascinating because they're complex. Not in spite of them being complex. But it does get to be a bit much. I've been writing down my comments on this inquisition now, the committee hearings and the public inquiry. And I've written quite a chunk of material. Now, I have written quite a chunk of material, and I would be pleased if it was read in public. And I may send it to people and say, yeah, I think that this should be made public. You guys do it. And edit the hell out of it. It's like it's not even mine. All I'm saying is that the people who talk about this stuff and write about this stuff, I just like them to read my stuff and do what they wanted with it. It's not mine anymore. I've given it to them. I like, comprehendo? I'm giving it to you. Do whatever you want, but I'd be just so honored if you could read it, you know, that'd be amazing. It's very forceful. It's a very much, I would say, a diatribe. But it's a very good diatribe, because the thing is that it's what it sounds like when you read it is just me giving one side of the story, right? Continuously one side of the story, 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 right? And I say, why don't we pause to get through some of the nuance on these issues, right? But the problem is that there's just so much happening all the time that you can just barely touch on it. Like just the stuff that's happened, like just think about what I just said. Think about the story that I just told you. That's a fishy story.